How's California doing? Not great. Activists demand $200 million. $200 million for each and every African American in California, for a state that never once had sanctioned slavery. The only time that it was there was when Kamala Harris was the AG. But what are we doing here? Okay, reparations for black residents in California are forecasted to cost $800 billion. More than twice the cost of the state's entire annual budget, which is already $300 million in the hole. But don't worry about it. Don't worry. Million or billion, it really doesn't much matter when you're dealing with this ludicrous amount of money. Does it even matter? Does it even matter? Last night, I guess that would have been Sunday night, right? Okay. Task force approved recommendations for reparation payments. Of course, a bunch of black people sitting around. How much free money should we get, and how much did them white people end up spending on us? $200 million a piece. Would that be good for now? So what is this supposed to be? What is this supposed to be? Okay, just hush money for all you previously indentured servants. Come on now. Is that just good right now? Like, you guys will stop complaining about slave. Oh, God, I almost got that out without, breaking character for a moment, but it's not going to stop complaining. Come on, you're just going to be it's just going to be a perpetual shakedown if you're going to continue to do this stuff. Like, come on, man. Come on. We all know exactly what time this is. It's not going to fix anything. It's not going to satisfy anybody because there's going to be, a next crop of people that are going to grow up under the same oppressive white slavery system. And what, you're going to have to pay off every kid that gets popped out? Like, come on now. Or what about, okay, they decide $200 million to every black person that's out there. What about the Shaniquas and LaQuishas that are expecting some kids? Are they going to get what, depending on how far along? Are they going to get, retroactive payments on how old their kids are? Because they've been, they're descended from slavery and shit. This is for a state that never had slavery. That state is now going to be paying people. Holy. The 9-member task force called on lawmakers to make a formal apology for slavery. Okay. And also requested that those eligible receive cash down payment. Yes, of course, they want it all right now. They don't want to have to go down to the liquor store and cash their checks. The task force was assembled 2 years ago following George Floyd. Exactly. Grift at peak grifting hours. Shout out to the hustle. If passed, it's not law yet, and anybody with sense would look at that and go, absolutely not. What are you, retarded? Well, there's so many jokes. So many easy jokes. You have no idea how much I'm holding back right now. If passed, a black resident older than 71 would be eligible to receive more than $1.2 million in reparation, as reported by Fox. What's the average life expectancy for a black guy? Okay, well, I can see why they put it at 71. But during last night's meeting, an activist known as Reverend Tony Pierce, I'm sure he's a legit reverend, just like Al Sharpton, called out the task force for being fearful of getting the black community what they really deserve. All right. Me. Let's just go ahead and go into the full elocution on this one. You know that the numbers should be equivocal to what an acre was back then. Oh, when we were given 40, okay? We were given 40 acres. Who know what the number is? Who keep trying to talk about now? What? And yet you research back to slavery and you know nothing about slavery. Nothing. So the equivocal number from the 1860s for 40 acres today is $200 million for each and every African American. Are you high? But yeah, he also doesn't bring up the mule. Like, he's totally discounting what the value of a mule back in 1860 would be. You can plunk it into an inflation calendar, or calculator rather, and you can figure out that, oh my God, obviously everybody's owed $100 bazillion for work that their ancestors and shit apparently did back when they were kangs. Pierce was joined by former Black Panther terrorist Elaine Brown, who called for people to turn to demonstrations. That's fantastic. Well, they're already living in the street. Might as well, march down them. Give them some trash bags. Maybe they can clean up that fucking disaster area. These estimates include, for example, losing $2,352 per person per year of California. This is, running back the numbers. Residents for the over-policing of black communities, $3,366 per person per year of residents for discriminatory lending and zoning. Okay, $13,619 per person per year of residence for injustice and discriminations in health. Well, it's not my fault that you guys just chow down on KFC and Popeyes. And $77,000 per person for black-owned business losses and devaluations. Hilarious. Okay, so you're saying that California did all of this to you, and you want their assistance in this. So you're going to blame them. You're going to play the victim. And then you're just going to go to them with open palms? Fucking hilarious. You can't make this shit up. But wait, there's more. California Reparations Task Force say $800 billion cost is very cautious. Don't worry, they're going to ask for more. Because they're always going to ask for more. Like, this wouldn't stop anything. Like, come on. You think that this is going to create racial harmony? No, man. This is just going to create more and more of a welfare state that this time the government can't foot the bill for in any conceivable fashion. I'm just waiting for California to pass this and go, well, fuck. How do we pay this shit? But yes, it's also including $227 billion for excess drug arrests since 1970. Oh, because black people were breaking the law by possessing illegal contraband items? They need to get paid for that? Like, what are we doing? It's like, was there ever recompense for the people that were going to the speakeasies back when Prohibition was going on? I'm just wondering. California's Reparation Task Force believes the estimated $800 billion cost its proposal is a very cautious minimum that could rise even further as more harms and atrocities faced by and committed by black people are accounted for. A report by the 9 Strong Committee. Well, I wouldn't really say strong is boisterous, maybe a little bit more appropriate, or rambunctious, or uppity, something like that. Who suggested reparations bill would amount to more than double the state's annual budget, but how are we supposed to afford our crowns because we like royalty and shit? We all came from Africa. Her 5 criteria of harms and atrocities used to calculate the cost, which include housing discrimination, health disparities, and not exhaustive and or the total estimated losses of African Americans is not a final estimate of all the losses. See, this is just opening up the door to a perpetual continue to pay us, okay, because we needs it. Because I got bronchitis and ain't nobody got time to total everything up, especially if you're going to be asking taxpayers to foot the bill. Fucking Christ. Further data collected and research would be required to augment these initial estimates. Oh, good, the report added. Additionally, since the task force and its economic experts estimates for costs are intentionally conservative, great, and the legislature may need to provide compensation in sums greater than the amount calculated. Yes, of course. You want to have these amounts calculated by length of rap sheet and circumference of ass. The observations is made in the final report to the final recommendations of the task force, which also states that reparations for disproportionate drug felonies arrests alone amount to $228 billion. Again, it's just a bunch of people that have no fucking idea what's going on making decisions. How rich do we want to be specifically? Oh, great, that much? Yeah, okay, that'll work for right now. This is our first draft. We'll come back to you when we spend it all. So by the end of the year, we'll get back to you with another recommendation because Christ almighty, you just send out all of this fucking free money. Cool. That'll float you through an election, Gavin. Don't worry about it. You just bought the amount of votes that you think that you need and then kick the can down the road and hey man, eventually you'll get a bailout from the federal government or raise taxes so high that everybody's spending 80% and push out anybody that's actually creating wealth in the state. Congratulations, you just played yourself. But at least you can rest easy at night knowing that you're one of those good allies that's out there. Yuck. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.